where did you grow up exactly?
I grew up in Scotland.
Scotland?
Yes.
Okay.
I lived there for about 20-ish years.
Really?
And then I moved out here when I was 23. And here I am.
So I don't hear a Scottish accent.
It comes and goes. Well, my parents are American, so when I lived in Scotland, I always had a kind of a hybrid accent. People would think that I was from Canada or Australia or something a lot because it was half Scottish and half American.
Okay.
And since I've lived here for 5-ish years, I've pretty much lost it. But you can hear it. If you know what to listen for and you know the accent, you can hear it.
So if you were to go full Scottish, like, what would it sound like? If you were to...
Yeah, right. I don't know. I hate it when people tell me to say something in Scottish. It's like, I guess if you're from a foreign country and someone asks you to say something in your language and you go blank.
Okay, so you moved here when you were 20. Your parents were missionaries?
Yes.
So explain what that means exactly.
They were Christian missionaries, and what my dad used to do was he used to tour churches and schools especially and put on skits with music that were about Jesus, and he kind of tried to make it fun for young people, and he did a lot of street performances and things, and he produced and wrote all of his own Christian music and had all these like parody albums, like Men in Christ was a parody of Men in Black, and Jurassic Church was a parody of Jurassic Park. It was all silly and fun.
So how involved were you in the whole process of all this?
I was pretty religious when I was growing up, but then once I started, seeing that there was another world out there, I kind of started questioning some of the things that I had been told. And I noticed that there was a lot of hypocrisy going on. Like, I didn't agree with everything that they were saying. And so I decided to not shun religion, but just kind of do my own thing and have my own spirituality.
Okay. So was there like sort of a point where you just said, I'm not going to go along with, what my dad is doing and stuff like that?
Yeah, I remember it very clearly, actually. Well, I kind of rebelled, and I started listening to like rock music and hanging out with the bad kids, and I wanted to dye my hair and get tattoos and wear ripped clothes and all that, and my parents hated that. I remember buying a Marilyn Manson CD, and my parents took it away from me.
Just like the antithesis of what they stood for, pretty much.
Yeah, they were very mad, but they got over it.
Okay. Like, how old when you first started having sex?
I started thinking about sex at a very young age. I think I was very young when I started being interested in the world of sex, but I was very shy. So I was practically dumped by every single one of my early boyfriends because I was too scared to even hold their hand or like get close. Like, I was so shy. I'm still pretty shy, actually. But I didn't actually have sex until I was 17 was when I started doing it.
So once you had sex, and this was premarital sex, I assume?
Of course. I've never been married.
Right. But, with your parents being extremely religious, was that considered a no-no, or?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't really talk to my parents about sex. My parents they told me how things worked, but they wanted me to wait until I fell in love and got married and, the whole traditional thing. But
At what point did you get into porn?
I actually, I shot my first porn scenes. It was right after I had done my first Bizarre Cover magazine shoot, and I was already doing a lot of very risque modeling nude, doing art nudes and glamour, and I was very into the fetish scene back then. And so I was already doing a lot of very you know, naughty things on camera. But then this company that I had modeled for, Burning Angel, wanted me to do a girl-girl scene. And I figured, what the hell? They were gonna shoot me in Paris, and I wanted to go to Paris. And I was still living in Scotland at this point.
Okay.
So it was actually kind of a fluke. I never thought that I would do it again after that. I was just kind of doing it because I wanted to see what it was like, and I was really horny, and I wanted to get paid, and I thought it would be fun, a fun experience.
How was that first experience?
It was amazing. Well, that was the thing. I had so much fun on that trip to shoot a simple girl-girl scene that I ended up shooting 4 scenes that trip. I shot 2 girl-girl scenes and my first boy-girl scene and my first boy-girl anal scene. I just kind of, because I was having so much fun, so I was like, fuck it, I don't mind.
You know, at that point, were you like, okay, I'm gonna do porn?
No, I actually was I was just doing it for fun. So I went back to Scotland and I focused on my modeling, and I was a stripper at the time too. And then the initial plan was to move to London. And I was only supposed to come to LA for a 10-day work vacation. Mm-hmm. And then I just never left. And I was in an accident, so that kind of helped solidify my decision to stay. Okay. But yeah, it was a year after I had lived in LA that I started doing porn full time, because I went to AVN. My friend Joanna Angel had invited me to go, and it was so much fun that I just decided to get an agent and see if I could do it as a full-time job.
Have you had the conversation with your parents?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So what was that initial talk like?
Well, they found out, I think they found out from my uncle, or someone told someone else in the family, and then they found out. But of course, this isn't the job that they had envisioned me to have, so they weren't thrilled about it. But my parents are very accepting, and once they got over the initial shock and I reassured them that, you know, I wasn't doing drugs or prostituting myself on the street or anything, like I was safe and secure and happy, they accepted it. And they're really cool. I mean, my parents even came to the AVN Awards last year. Well, not the actual awards, but because they used me in all the promo pictures, and I was on the side of the Hard Rock Casino, so my dad came with his camera and was taking pictures.
Okay, so what was it like having your parents at the AVNs?
It was fun. My parents are so accepting and cool and just loving, and my mom was kind of excited. She was like, "Oh, this is cool, look at you all over the thing," and my sister thought it was all cool, and